Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Entitled Parents. Story 1. My sister, 13, scratches her ass crack or has blood from her period on her fingers and then touches food. My parents don't say anything and try to talk this, normal. And every time I say something to my parents, they act like I was talking about something really bad and they try to distract from the fact that they are ignorant, and most of the time fucking stupid. They act like it's normal to scratch your ass crack and then immediately touch food without washing your hands, but it's not normal, it's just fucking disgusting. Edit. First of all, thanks for supporting me and not acting like this is normal. My whole family is like this except me and my older brother. Hope is lost. I ain't going to talk to them. I tried 100 of times and they are always like trying to change the subject and act like I never started a conversation. The happiest day of my life will be the day I can leave this madhouse. I have many more stupid but mostly disgusting stories, maybe I will publish them one day. But read at your own risk. I am not going to pay for your psychiatrist. I think I need the money for my own. Story 2. Woman parks in disabled parking space. Hello, I've got ADHD and autism. My mum and me parked in disabled parking, we have a badge. And we saw a family with no badge parked in disabled and my mum talked to them about it with them and they didn't care because they had already parked. My mum said no, that not a reason to park in disabled. Then she said that she had a baby in a big car so she can't park in disabled. She also said that in a car park with 500 plus spot there was not a single parent and child. She did not move from the spot and then walk to other shop far away. Edit. Read if you are angry about my disability counting as a disability. I have ADHD and autism. I have tried to kill myself. I have trouble listening to instructions. I can't believe people are such melts to think that ADHD and autism doesn't count and that I have to be physically disabled. The council have given me a badge to park in disabled because I'm disabled. Story 3. Pregnant couple yells at woman to muzzle her dog. There's a video going viral in India in which a pregnant woman and her husband, who are with their child, are arguing with a dog owner in a lift. They are yelling at the dog owner to muzzle her dog because he can bite the pregnant woman. The dog owner is refusing, saying that she and her dog were in the lift first and if they are so scared they should just take the next lift. Also, as evident in the video, her dog is extremely calm and she has him on a tight leash. Also, there are no laws demanding dogs to be muzzled. The video was posted online by the couple who very cleverly blurred out their own faces. Oh, and stating what should be obvious, anyone so scared of dogs would not choose to stand in close proximity with a dog for a long time, like they did. I am sure the actual life ride would have been much shorter than the time they spent in there arguing. They only wanted to harass pet owners and show their parent entitlement. Story 4. Must be nice. Sorry, small rant because I'm irritated. Must be nice. Does anyone else absolutely hate that phrase? My mom, stepmom, but the only mom I ever had, uses it all the time. And it's so annoying. Me and my husband have been more frugal lately and decide to treat ourselves to a night out. Must be nice to be able to afford that. Saved up and bought a new car when I got pregnant because the old one wasn't safe for kids. Must be nice, I've never had a new car. I make homemade baby food for my kids. Must be nice, I never had the time, I was too busy actually working. I'm a Sam. This morning she was texting me and asked what was up. It was 10:45 and I said that me and the kids, 2 yo boy and 7mo girl, just got up because my 7-month-old is going through a sleep regression and is waking up every 2 hours. And she usually wakes up her older brother, so it takes at least an hour to get them both back down. And she immediately started in with the "wow, must be nice to sleep in, I don't have that luxury." Like? I'm sorry Karen, but I'd much rather have a full night's sleep than trying to play catch up and still barely getting 6 hours at night, but go off I guess. Story 5. My mom made a fake Instagram account to follow me. So my mom was asking me do something on her phone and I came across her Safari which had an Instagram account with no followers or following. The recent searches were me and the guy I'm seeing and other people I know. I realized I literally had an Instagram request from this account because my Instagram is on private. I feel so creeped out and weird about it. Loki feels like she's stalking me. Story 6. Entitled Mother wants to invite her onto my NYC trip. My M is frustrating me. I am going to NYC to hang out with a friend. M found out and decided she wants to go too. But we are doing stuff she likes, staying in 5-star hotels, flying first class, it's an HR or 2HR flight. She knows why I am going but does not care. Also she wants me to pay for everything. Story 7. My parents want me to break up with my boyfriend as they think he is disrespectful and manipulative and not a good fit. What do I do? Edit. My parents do give notice and I always do let my boyfriend know when they're coming over. It's not a surprise. He knew they were over at our house that day. Another edit. I guess I should also mention that 1. My boyfriend isn't always a bad host but I guess somehow manages to not match up to my parents' expectations of being a host every time, such as not saying come in when opening the door for them. 2. My mum is quite demanding and so is my dad sort of. It's been hard finding independence in my voice with them. Even moving out was a big deal that I had to convince them about. While they do love and care for me, they do feel like I am still supposed to do what they tell me to do as their daughter. They've improved and loosened their reins on me but that battle is far from over for me. Also for e.g. my dad forgetting to wish my mum happy Mother's Day or happy birthday as soon as he sees her in the morning has become a huge deal in the past. 3. My mum especially has even lost friendships because of not getting her way and her friend not wishing her a happy birthday etc. She even seems entitled over whether my brother's fiancé wears blue eyeshadow or not. Even if the blue eyeshadow is ugly, I feel like that's not my mum's problem to solve. I, F24, have been dating my boyfriend, M27, for around 1.5 years now and he had been introduced to my parents 2 months into dating. I moved in with him 5 months into dating so have been living together for a year now. Moving in together introduced no issues into our relationship and has been an amazing year. For context also, we all live in London. My family moved here when I was a baby. I am Indian and boyfriend is Fijian Indian and he has been trying to learn my language as I and my parents would prefer that, mainly to pass down my language to my kids. He comes over to my parents' house, with me, for weekly language lessons with my mum. Although my parents know English, they converse with him mainly, but not all the time, in our native language to help him pick the language up and expect him to reply back in the same language. The problem is, my family is now very against him and want me to break up with him. They say that he's not family-oriented and doesn't care about anyone/anything. They gave various reasons for this including him making us wait for 10 minutes the very first time I brought my family over to his place. We waited in the apartment lobby as he was late and he didn't apologize for his making us wait at all after this. He has been late to family visits and has made us, me and BF, late to events many times because he showers for too long and generally doesn't manage his time well. It has been annoying and stressful for me to be the one to always nag and keep pushing him to get ready on time. He didn't wish my mum happy Mother's Day and didn't wish my parents a happy anniversary even after he was asked to. Both days my parents were over at our apartment. He wasn't apologetic that he forgot about it either. When my mum asked him where's my wish, he just grudgingly said happy anniversary, him not taking the exit that my dad told him to when he was driving our family. My boyfriend agreed to take this certain exit off the motorway but ended up forgetting, I assume, and took another one, him not greeting my parents and saying hi how are you when he walked into our apartment while my parents were over. He just looked annoyed. Boyfriend said he was tired but that he did say hi, but I'm not too sure whose POV is right. After boyfriend walked in though, he proceeded to sit quietly in a corner on his phone and not interact with anyone, which my parents found rude. Boyfriend didn't help to set the table for dinner at our apartment even after my mum said she was hungry and my parents had to do it themselves. I had popped out to the shops at this time so I didn't know what happened. I can't tell if my family is nitpicking or if this stuff is actually something that should be taken as an indication that my boyfriend isn't a good fit for the future. I don't want to lose my close relationship with my family, but at the same time I don't want to lose my boyfriend as I have been happy with him. I am moving out alone soon, have to appease my parents but also to experience living alone for a while and to see if the issues die down. I guess some of the problems were also caused by us living together and my parents having to see him every time they came to visit me. Story 8. Lady, I told you your kids weren't old enough for this class. Don't blame me when they get hurt. Hi. First time posting here, but boy do I have some stories. Also sorry for the long post, I tend to give too many details. I work as an instructor teaching parkour and free running basics to small kids, ages 2 to 6, and most of my classes are in private institutions like schools or specialized gyms. Now I say basics, but it really is more bodily control and perception than bona fide parkour since they're really young. I separate kids based on age and skill into different classes which challenge them accordingly, having the older kids dip their toes into actual parkour and free running skills. Now on to the story. I had this mother, henceforth of 2 kids, EK1 and EK2, ages 2 and 3 respectively, come for a test class to see if the kids are interested. The kids enjoy the class since I try to make them both challenging and fun by playing games where they have to traverse obstacle courses, and I try to set up scenarios for them to use their imagination, such as the pirate ship is sinking. We have to jump onto the lifeboats, etc. The administration later lets me know they enrolled and all is well. Now, something you have to know about my classes is that even though they are taught in a special, order-made room and I make sure most surfaces are padded and am super paranoid about accidents, so I do my best to keep a safe environment. Sometimes kids can take a fall, especially if they aren't following instructions or throw tantrums. This was the case with EK1 and 2 since they were always refusing to listen instructions and threw tantrums when I tried to explain why they couldn't just run off to play in the room as if it was just a playground, which it absolutely isn't. After a couple of weeks of this, comes into my classroom to tell me, not ask mind you, that her kids are ready for the advanced class, which is kids aged 5 to 6, because they have grown bored of the kiddie class since they are so much better than the other kids. They are not. I politely let her know that although they are indeed pretty active kids, they first have to become responsible of their actions since they tend to push kids around and not listen to instructions, and therefore they are not yet ready since the older kids class is way tougher and I can't just follow 2 kids around to take care of them and neglect the rest of the class since there could be an accident. Now these are not in any way big groups, I only take groups of 5 kids at most since it's all I can handle on my own to make sure every kid is as safe as possible. But having to take care of underage kids and leaving other 3 kids unattended is a big no-no in my book. Anyway, doesn't seem to take my words kindly but accepts my decision, or so I thought. Next week I come in to have the receptionist tell me had basically thrown a tantrum to have her kids go into the advanced class anyway despite my warnings, and asks me if I can just let it slide this time. Obviously I'm not okay with this as it endangers not only EKs but other kids as well, but I can see her storming into my classroom again, angrier this time if I say no, so I ask the front desk to have her sign an additional waiver to the one she already had to sign when enrolling the kids. The day comes when I have to teach the advanced class and in come marching with a smug grin none other than and EKs, I welcome them and start my class, which as I said is way more demanding, and has some actual parkour techniques sprinkled in. It would be unfair to the age-appropriate kids to downplay the class just because these entitled kids enrolled, so I don't, however I keep a close eye on them to avoid any issues. That day, the kids had to clear a small gap jump and latch onto an edge wall and shimmy along while hanging, picture hanging movement in the Assassin's Creed series, everything but the floor is padded of course, however it is a substantial fall for kids that age, about 1.5 meters. As I'm helping one of the older kids shimmy along, I see the next in line to make the jump is the elder of the entitled siblings and I ask her to wait for me so that I can spot her jump in case her hands slip or she doesn't clear the gap. She starts throwing a tantrum about how she's a big girl now and she can do it on her own, to which I respond to just let me be there to make sure she doesn't get hurt. I run back to her after helping the other kid reach the ground and help her reach the wall since she couldn't clear the gap, to which she goes absolutely mad and storms out of the classroom. 5 minutes later she comes back in with M demanding that I let her jump on her own. I once again explain why that is a bad idea and we run the circuit once again. Again I am helping the kid lapping before her and ask her to wait for me, but instead of listening she jumps into the wall, fails to clear the gap, crashes into the wall face first and then plops into the ground knocking the wind out of her. I rush to check if she's unhurt, which thankfully she is aside from the fall, and she starts swiping at me and once she recovers starts bawling her eyes out and storms out of the classroom again. Once again I'm faced with the M demanding to know why I let her daughter get hurt during my class and starts accusing me of being negligent and incompetent and that she'll take measures against the school and me. I tell her I understand she's upset, but I asked the kid to stay still and wait for me but she refused to listen, and to remember that I warned her they were not yet ready for this class as they did not follow instructions which were meant to keep them safe. M keeps going about how I can expect to be fired soon and the usual entitled parent monologue and then leaves. I tell the front desk what just happened and ask them to check the cameras in my classroom so that they can have proof in case she really tries something legally, and reminded them she had signed a second waiver. Thankfully she never did and she never came back even though she paid the whole month in advance. I have some more stories of this kind since extracurricular activities tend to have these kind of incidents and draw in entitled people, so let me know if you wanna hear more and I'll try to post some of mine and co-workers' stories in here. Edit. Thanks for the huge support. I will be posting other stories I've picked up over the years and ask co-workers to share theirs. Lots of love. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.